Hey guys, welcome back to another crypto video. Today, we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, and I'm especially excited today because we can give away $50 worth of crypto again if we can hit 300 likes within 24 hours. All you have to do is make sure you press that like button, put something in the comment section here and in Discord, and make sure you have the notification bell on. There are going to be a total of 5 winners. One has already been picked, so make sure you do those things to grab a chance. So I'm pretty excited today, as I said, but we got a ton of articles to talk about today, and also what is really positive is the sphere, like the whole atmosphere for XRP the last couple of weeks here has just been insanely nice, and also the prices have been good. We've not been in this stablecoin territory for quite a while now. Even the spread is lowering down now to only 3.72 on the 24-hour range here, or the whole range actually is almost 4%, which is relatively low in comparison to the rest of these days, but still it is way better than the 1.9% and whatever that we saw a couple of weeks ago here. So that's already also picked up some pace and doing positive. But overall here, what is most positive about everything is that the FUD has finally stopped. I looked almost everywhere on the internet, but nobody seemed to be FUDding XRP like before. Like, normally when I used to type in XRP news or Ripple news or whatever, something like that, I would find half of the articles saying XRP is going to be dying and half of them saying XRP is going to go to the moon, as an example. But right now, I think like 95% of the articles were positive, and there was just like 1 or 2 or 3. I think maybe this was like 3 out of the 60 or something articles that I found for today. It's insane. That's really, really positive and really, really good. Shows to me that people have got some faith again in the project, even though there were a few shady things like the money out of escrow that came about. Not that many people seem to make a fuss about it, which I really do quite enjoy. First article of the day, Ripple XRP adds 21% resistance at 40 to 43 cents zone. And what is quite interesting to see is how in my yesterday's video on XRP, we were talking about a price of 48 cents that XRP could hit, but also talking about the shorter term resistances at like 40 and 42 cents. But a lot of you guys in the comment section and on Twitter, as I saw, were actually talking about way further points, talking about 60, about 80 cents and things like that. And also so many people were convinced that XRP is going to hit 80 cents really, really soon here. I'm really kind of unsure what is pointing towards this, but following the rest of the crypto market here, XRP should not be going that far below 80 or 38 cents here for a while now, and most likely will push back above 40 cents. There is still quite a lot of resistance that's holding them back, but I think it is not strong enough to really hold firmly. Ripple is ranging, but the uptrend is firm, as we've been seeing with Bitcoin specifically, and actually really, really hard. XRP classification will either trigger a rally or a large-scale dump. Like most liquid assets, Ripple XRP is consolidating, trading inside May 14th and 15th high-low in a bullish breakout pattern. All the time, bulls are in pole position. As fundamentals and candlesticks arrangement diverge, it is only a matter of time before prices breach 50 cents as buyers aim at 60 cents. That's actually kind of a positive thing. The buyers are aiming at 60 cents, which is, again, good. And we also know for a fact that a lot of people are going to be buying in if we finally get over that 50 cent hurdle. 50 cent, one of the hardest resistances for XRP to pass for a very, very long time. And definitely if we get above that 48 cent mark, as we were speculating about before, we could actually have a very, very good time if we break above 50 cents, because that could trigger again another little run-up of buyers pulling in. Support at 30 cents, main resistance and buy trigger line at 40 cents. Main buy trigger line is actually really positive again, which makes us pop out harder if we actually get above there. Here was an overextension. Again, this actually shows us quite easily that we were not yet ready to move above, I think it is 42, that we were not really ready to cross. And we already speculated that back in the Discord, but it's kind of cool to see that we tried, and the community is still backing it up to pump towards 48 cents and even 80. It's going to be all cool, guys. This is all just short-term fluctuations. They don't really matter in the longer term, but it is interesting. So, Ripple executive elected as U.S. Faster Payments Council's maiden board of directors opportunity for mass adoption. And there are massive adoption opportunities every single day. Every day that Spring is out there, every day that XRapid is out there, there are opportunities for mass adoption. As a lot of these innovative things, like as an example, XRapid is bringing something completely crazy to the market. that on its own could actually have a crazy mass adoption effect, as some bigger banks or financial institutions could come on and just change the game, actually make it so all these other players wants to adopt as well. And with Spring, they could fund something that actually makes XRP get used by millions and millions and millions of people, which again in turn could also easily account for mass adoption. Easily is not the best word to use, but could amount to massive adoption. Ripple XRP executive elected as U.S. Faster Payments Council's maiden at the board of directors. It's actually really kind of strange, but quite interesting. So let's talk about this. Ripple XRP, the U.S. Faster Payment Council, the FPC. I had not heard about this before until reading this article, but okay. Has elected Ripple's VP of Strategic Accounts, Pat Thielen, as one of its directors. So that happened. The U.S. Faster Payment Council has elected one of Ripple's persons, a VP of Strategic Accounts, to join them as one of their directors. And this was actually kind of a major move. I didn't realize until reading this article that it actually is. Pat, who joined Ripple in May 2018, was elected as the organization's first elected board of directors. In a release Monday, FPC, which is again Faster Payment Council, highlighted the names of the newly elected individuals, where Pat, among other representatives from the technology provider section, were selected to serve a year term. So we're going to be in there for 1 year, which is again kind of positive to see, kind of a cool thing to note, right? I guess it's already kind of looking cool, but what does it really entail? What is this all about? Well, FPC is a new industry. So how will Ripple actually benefit? Industry-led organization whose aim is to champion the state-of-the-art payment system that gives Americans the opportunity to achieve secure and safe payment to anywhere and anyone in a seamless, instant, and reduced cost manner. The organization is open to all stakeholders in the payment industry in the U.S. to inclusion on Ripple's executive in the system will open the blockchain company and XRP to diverse opportunities, since FPC is working tirelessly on increasing the adoption of faster payment in the country. This is indeed a giant opportunity for Ripple, and at the Swiss National Bank Conference SNBC a few days ago, the CEO, of course, Brad Garlinghouse, BG, spoke in a company of central bankers, which was again so amazing for him being like the odd one out there, the black sheep, and the director of International Monetary Fund, IMF, on the outstanding performance of Ripple's XCurrent and XRapid. He was kind of vouching for himself there, or kind of putting himself on the board there, and he was one major chess piece. It was like the queen in the whole game there, by being one of the most important, yet, I don't really know how to describe him. It was just really unexpected for him to be on there, even though it was to a certain extent expected, since people already said it was going to happen. It was unexpected in the sense that I would have never thought that such a thing would be possible. If you have no idea what I'm talking about here, check out my previous video, guys. We covered this in mass detail. I think it was already 2 videos ago. At the gathering, he referred to XCurrent as Swift 2.0, stating afterwards that XRP-centric XRapid is being used in Argentina and some other countries, and that some other countries might be popping up soon. XRapid is looking to expand. We just don't know what exactly yet, but it will be soon and it will be great. That's all we know for right now. Why Ripple and XRP will outlive all other cryptocurrencies. This was actually an interesting title to read, and it made me think about what is there that is so special about XRP that could make the longevity so great, or what could make them outlive some of these other crypto. Now, I just want to quickly talk about this top 4 for you guys about why it will outlive most of these crypto, possibly. So first off, Bitcoin. A reason XRP could outlive Bitcoin is because Bitcoin is really grandfathered in. It's one of the greatest stores of value, but as anybody who has ever transacted on Bitcoin chain before, we all know it's not that easy, not that simple, and not that efficient or fast or cheap whatsoever. So transacting is definitely not the best thing to do with Bitcoin, and what we want with these cryptocurrencies, at least what the real goal is to really make it accessible for all, and to kind of step away from a middleman, but to be able to do your transactions online. And I think that store of value is actually a second instead of a first like goal for these cryptocurrencies, since like gold, you can use it, but you, in theory, could transact with it as well. Even though it's not the cheapest or not the simplest or fastest thing to do, they do add a lot of value of being able to transact gold in an easy fashion. Bitcoin can be transacted easily on exchanges, yes, but you're not going to be using it to change between people. You're not going to be using this as a to move around, and that is a reason that another coin could take over in the future. As an example, Zcash, which is not amongst these coins really that much anymore right now, actually had a value of $6,000, I believe, or maybe it was 4.5, but it was somewhere really, really high, $3,500 plus. I think it got to 6,500 though, when Bitcoin was also going up quite a bit. I think it might have been in 2016 already. Frick if I know, guys. It was a long time ago, but Zcash got to a very, very high point in price. And right now, one of the biggest things people are saying about Bitcoin is that it's just number one because they got the highest price, right? No coin can beat it, and even a lot of these analysis and articles online say that there will never be a cryptocurrency that's going to beat Bitcoin in price. I seem to really disagree with that, though. If that other coin comes, though, Bitcoin really does not serve any other purpose rather than being possibly stable or just having a lot of dominance, but that might also be switched over around in a couple of years here, as Bitcoin is just one of the oldest ones. But Craig Wright, with all of his actions that he's doing right now, might also ruin it a little bit. There's definitely the possibility of such a thing happening or going on. And I just pressed it away for some reason. Let me see here. There we go. Okay, we got it on again. And actually open up the Discord here to show you guys something. Here's the chat room in my Discord chat. Make sure you guys check this out. But also, guys, you also have a news section in here in the Discord. And I saw this popping up here. Bitcoin white paper and software copyrighted by Craig Wright, Bitcoin SV doubles. Craig Wright is up to some crazy stuff right now, and especially for Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV, this could have some crazy, on a certain extent, negative influences for us in the crypto space, which again, I don't really like, but we just got to deal with that. But that might also make it so in turn Bitcoin is going to fall down a little bit. For some other coins, like as an example, Maker, it's a coin at 22nd. I think it's still on Ethereum. It has a high valuation because there's not that many coins out there, but it's not as popular. But that's a coin that hypothetically could take over in a long time. Ethereum, it's grandfathered in, yet there's so many better platforms that are a lot more scalable. Ethereum is not that quick to innovate, not that quick at doing their things, which just won't last whenever these other cryptocurrencies start to pop up. So Tron is already better in a lot of these DApp spectrums. EOS is already better in a lot of these spectrums, and like Cardano is already on their way to become better. And Bitcoin Cash, man, if you really believe in Bitcoin Cash, you're not on my level, right? I'm not thinking that way. I think Bitcoin Cash is really a weird type of coin that has no particular purpose rather than just being Bitcoin, but then a little bit cheaper, a little bit faster, a little bit, a little bit meh, like an AliExpress version of Bitcoin is kind of what I see it like. Same goes for Bitcoin SV, which is still, to my opinion, pure BS. If you're invested into that, you're just a speculator working with these bigger companies, trying to lose all your money. And same to me kind of goes for Bitcoin Cash. So I think it could realistically actually outlive all of these other cryptocurrencies just because of some of the reasons I just named. Dash, there's no real competition between XRP and Dash, but still, if you really think about it, none of these coins beat XRP in terms of speed and in terms of the cheapness, like in terms of price for how much you can transact. It's just so ridiculously cheap, so ridiculously fast that, in theory, that's the only coin you really need in this cryptocurrency space. Yeah, maybe a stable coin could work, but XRP could really survive on its own. It will do great. It's just what I kind of noticed. Here, the article, though, yeah, not the best thing in the world, but it did have an interesting title that made me think about it. So, I'm going to give him a thumbs up for this time, for the first time ever. Ripple XRP price consolidating above the key supports at 36 cents as it holds key. Ripple price failed to break 4,300 resistance and recently corrected lower against the US dollar. The price declined below 40 cent support and tested the 38 cent support area. There's a key bullish trend line forming with support near 38.50 on the hourly chart of XRP to USD. And right now we are at, let's see if we can get back this number line. We are at 39.85. We're actually looking positive on the hourly, on the 24 hours as well. Actually 0%, but that is again actually kind of positive to not at least go down. And the pair may continue to trade in range above 36.10 support area before a fresh increase. We're moving closer and closer to that golden cross, guys. Might already be here, might almost be here. It is cutting it really, really close, and that's going to strengthen this run-up that we're going to have. But I am definitely buying some more coins, and I did not want to title this video why I'm buying more XRP, but I definitely am. And another big reason for that being is that I do believe that the coins the coins, the gains are going to be coming really, really soon here, and I don't want to miss out. FOMO is a real thing. FOMO is bad. It hurts. But yeah, I've been trailing my way down, and I thought, we're up a little bit. We're like at 38 point something cents where I bought at a little bit more. But I just got to go for it again, man. I don't want to miss out on some of these gains that I can make on my capital, so why not go for it a little bit? Again, this is not financial advice. This is purely for entertainment purposes only, but everybody their own thing, right? And I want to try it out, see what I can. And if we lose, the maximum amount that I'm going to lose is 20% of my value, right? If XRP goes even lower than that, it will be astronomical. It will be very, very crazy. But on the contrary, at some point in the future, it's going to turn around, go back to the all-time high and give us some crazy 7-time gains or even more. So it will all be fine in the longer run. Ripple market overview. XRP-USD still pushing for higher consolidation. Rejection from the 2019 highs at 47 cents could not find support at 40. As we already saw in a lot of these charts, it was actually kind of obvious that it could not hold. And Ripple is still trending higher above the rising trend line while pushing for higher consolidation. It's trying to, and we are actually pulling through as well. XRP and XLM price analysis. XLM remains bullish while XRP sides with the bears. I seem to kind of disagree there. We're not really siding with the bears. The bears just came in a little bit, tried their thing, but they're not prevailing, right? They're not working out, and the bulls are still winning the race. XRP begins an uptrend, while bearish divergence predicts a breakdown for XLM. More price analysis, but this article is really kind of contradictory to this one right here. And what I wanted to show here is a contrast between what information you get and what you find easily. So this article on AM Crypto is really, really easy to be found. This article on BN Crypto is not that popular. I had to look for it a little bit further, but when I found it, I just found it interesting as to if you're only looking on a different page of the web, so you're typing in different keywords, you're finding totally different articles about price and about a whole coin in terms of technical analysis. And I think you also really get a whole different idea of how the coin is performing. So this article really makes you think that XRP is not doing that great. We might be seeing some bearish momentum coming up here, and you start to become kind of scared and maybe sell off all your coins. Yet most of the other articles that are out there right now are actually talking about higher highs and talking about positive moves that are coming up. And what I just found out is that I really should encourage you guys more to read multiple articles. Don't just side with one TA article. Do multiple analysis and just make sure you have a nuanced view of what you're analyzing. You know what you're looking at, and you know why you're making your investment decisions. Again, I already made a difference between investing, speculating, and trading, but make sure you understand what you're doing and why you're doing that, and why you're trading and what your exact plan is. Just make sure you think it all out before you do anything, because there's so many things that could go wrong if you're not prepared. And don't be too biased in this. Don't let emotions play too big of a role. Instead, or unless you're speculating for a longer term, then emotions can't play a role because you're going to have to hodl hard. Having said that, Ripple price analysis. Cryptos can never replace banks, European National Bank. What is next, Ripple? I still, up to this point, a few hours after I opened this article, don't completely know what they mean with the title. I don't think they actually explain it well in the article either. I just kind of read through this part and just skip out because I noticed they didn't really have any substance. But let's quickly read through it so you guys know what I look for, what I'm trying to tell you guys here. Ripple's aim to replace the banking sector has faced resistance by the officials of the top European bank. I have some more to say about this, but we'll go and read it first. 2019 prediction goes to $1.1. Ripple XRP has been a dominant actor in the field of the alliance between the whole banking system and cryptocurrencies. RippleNet tries to become a substitute for the banking system by facilitating all kinds of financial transactions at an affordable cost. Just want to quickly mark that here. If we can we not? We cannot mark on this website? Oh, there we go. As per the recent data, more than 200 banks use Ripple's service for validating transactions. Again, that's everybody on Ripple. That's 200 is something. It's not necessarily banks, it's financial institutions, but okay. But Ripple's aspiration to become a substitute. Okay, let's actually add that to our markings. Has been marred by the Daniel Dianu, an official from the Southern Central European country's national bank. That's a long-ass name. Damn, son. He said crypto is not a real currency, but it is a financial asset. Cryptocurrencies can never replace the banks. However, this revelation has not impacted the market for Ripple. We predict the coin to reach 43 cents by the end of this quarter. Let's now look at the current facts and figures of the Ripple coin. All right, so let's actually add this one to the list. First off, they claim Ripple's aim to replace the banking sector has faced resistance by the officials of the top European bank. I just want to quickly add two things there. One, who says they really aim to replace the whole banking sector? I've never seen Ripple wrote that like, hey, banking, how they're doing it now? No, we're trying to take over all the banks. We're trying to become the biggest bank in the world. Banking sector? No. It's Ripple sector now. I've never seen them claim anything like that. And to add to that, even if they were to claim something like that, who would think that a European bank official or top European bank official would ever say, oh, yes, take us over, push us to the side, push us away, you do it all? No bank official is ever going to say that. Why would they? That would be like the dumbest contradictory thing in the world. So it's kind of funny how they mentioned such a weird thing in as a point there. And then they say, Ripple Net tries to become a substitute for the banking system by facilitating all kinds of financial transactions and affordable costs. And even though I could agree to a certain extent that they try to substitute the banking system, because if we're talking about the banking system, we could be talking about how the banks amongst each other manage transactions. So exactly what they do as banks by transacting to each other. And they're kind of trying to take over with the messaging system from Xcurrent. And they're trying to fill their own spot there, but they're not necessarily taking over the whole banking sector. They're just trying to facilitate these payments in an easier way by possibly and hopefully taking over a lot of the messaging, at least that's happening right now with Swift. Ripple's aspiration to become a substitute has been marred by the Daniel Dainu. And again, I want to quickly point out that even if they had the aspirations to become like the banking sector, instead of banking sector, the Ripple sector, it is not strange that there's a lot of resistance from a banking official, right? So that's, again, the most obvious thing in the world. And also, cryptocurrencies can never replace the banks. I find it interesting how we were just talking about Bitcoin as a store of value, but it cannot replace a bank. I think at one point in the future, people are going to want to start holding their own money or holding their own assets in their own custody. They just want to have it themselves. And what crypto really allows them to do is really hold on to all their money in a sort of safer way. To a certain extent, I think people also like put these chips inside their hands, and maybe it can all work in an easier fashion with your private keys just memorized always, or maybe PGP is going to play a role in this. There could be a ton of things that are going to be popping up here to make sure that these banks can be replaced by crypto, but it would take a very, very, very long time. It takes a lot of effort to put your faith into cryptocurrency, but even more, it takes a lot more faith to put your savings, really. So like all the money that you have saved up for maybe a house into cryptocurrency, because there's not that much stability. It's very volatile and people don't like that. At one point though, as an example, XRP Labs, which is trying to create a banking ecosystem, could be something that could hold your money as well. But I think that one of the best alternatives to ever doing any of this other stuff is to buy yourself a hardware wallet and to keep your funds on here as you please yourself. A link for this is in the description below, but I keep vouching for this thing as it has saved my life once before. I'm going to do another video on that. I think I still have a video about something very, very sad that happened. Privated all the way from back in like October 2018. I think it's like half a year ago or more that I have this video privated from, just because I never really wanted to discuss it with you guys. On the contrary, maybe I should though, just for why you should buy yourself a hardware wallet. It is like fundamentally one of the best things you could ever do in the crypto space. Make sure your funds are secure, because that's what it's all about in here. Ripple price analysis: XRP to USD stays under 40 cents, controlled by bears. Not true, all right? I don't think it's really controlled by the bears right now. I think the bears are trying to suppress it, but it's not really working too high or too good. XRP USD has been losing ground since the beginning of the week. Again, don't really agree with that. They're not really losing that much ground. What is deteriorating is the volatility in the crypto, but we can definitely still see a lot of positive vibes, positive energy, and a lot of bullishness going around here. A move above 40 cents is needed to mitigate bearish pressure. That is true though. So a move above 40 cents shows again to all these bears that they're not standing a chance. Shows again to all these people waiting to press the short or sell button that they're not having a chance. You know, this cryptocurrency is going to go up and up and up and above. Banks love Ripple. Demand could drive prices to 80 cents. This is one of the things that I was referring to before of people speculating the price to go to 80 cents. They're not talking about 46, 48. No. They're hoping for some of these bigger moves all the way towards the top. And they're not talking about a long term. They're talking about now, right? It's going to happen really, really soon. I saw a lot of discussions on Twitter talking about next week or end of Q2, things like that. That's going to be amazing if we can double in price or almost like triple in price over a quarter. If something like that really were to occur. I don't have any backing for this though, alright? A little bit about it could be the SEC's decision that could make a big role in this if they have something positive to say relatively soon. But it is still something I can't yet say too much. And yeah, the general idea here is how good that Ripple and XRP really are at this point right now. They're being overvalued at some points, but over longer term, guys, it doesn't matter, alright? It is all worth it. Every price that you put on it, it is worth it 200%. And last but not least here, Binance Coin creates fresh all-time high. Can BNB reach $40 by the end of Q2? I just find this really interesting to look at because Binance Coin has been one of the coins that I have been speculating on for a while, but this is actually one of the coins I think is like the best to hodl right now. Binance is an exchange and they use this as their native currency. So the more that Binance gets used, which is one of the most popular exchanges in the world, the more that this coin appreciates in value. So if a bull run would ever come, Binance coin is going to go up like crazy because people start to trade more, so people start to use more BNB and people start to buy more BNB. And this coin might actually have a really big run on its own, which is why I might be buying into it a lot more heavily from now on. And yeah, I'm going to give you guys more updates on that really relatively short though. But thank you guys all for watching this video. Hopefully you learned something new. Hopefully you did enjoy. Make sure you check out the Discord and links that I pop open for you guys right now. And check out the whole description. I put a lot of cool things in there that you guys should check out. So don't miss out. Check it out. Don't leave me hanging here, guys. Instagram, make sure you follow me on there. A lot of you guys don't, but make sure you follow me. My name on there is TheDustyBC. Like it is on Twitter, exactly the same handle, TheDustyBC. And I try to post as many cool things as I think you guys need or as I can find to help you guys out. So it's definitely a I don't want to say charity, but a cool thing I try to do for you guys to help you all out. You don't have to take it, of course, but I will give regardless. It's not opening up for some odd reason, but I think you guys get the drift here. My Twitter, TheDustyBC, make sure you guys follow me on there. It's a cool thing to do. Instagram here, as I said before, TheDustyBC. You can see, and free Bitcoin, I didn't make sure you guys check it out because you can get some free Bitcoin here. It's free, so why not? You're not missing out on anything if you're going there. So yeah, guys, have a nice one, and take care, everybody.